Hey guys, here are 5 practical strategies to help people with autism and ADHD help with focusing.
How would you say your mental focus is?
Oh, it's focused. I haven't.
Let's get right into it right now. Guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the Ask Me World. My name is Dan and I have autism and ADHD. If you're new around here and you want to learn more and come on the journey with me, remember to hit the subscribe button down below and follow this page. So the first thing I want to talk about here is focusing with autism and ADHD. This is something that's really difficult for people on the spectrum because focus allows for attention to be put through something of a demand. So you need to demand yourself to sit down and do some focus, which is kind of a little bit tricky for people on the spectrum because pathological demand avoidance comes hand in hand with autism, and this is something quite difficult for people to just sit down and go, okay, I'm going to focus on this task on my desk and do that one thing. It doesn't always happen. So there are tips and tricks that we can do to help increase the success rate of focus, and I'm going to break all 5 of those down right now. So the first one is breaking down tasks into smaller parts. When we think about all the things we need to do, it's a big colossal mess of all kinds of things, and when you have that colossal mess of different types of activities and things to do, it can become overwhelming and you won't focus. You'll procrastinate to high heavens and never get it done. That doesn't work and it will never work. But if you break those tasks down into smaller manageable chunks and list them out in bullet points, you'll be able to look and say, well, I have one thing to do, which is make my bed or go for a shower or get the grocery shop done. When you break them down into small manageable parts, you're more able to focus on that one part whilst you're doing it, rather than worrying about everything else because you know that you've already listed it out and you'll get to it when it's its turn in the list. So number 2 is creating a routine. If you create organizational habit as a routine, it becomes so natural that it is focusable because you're not worrying about, oh, do I have to do this thing and I don't know how to do it. If you make everything in your life a routine, like I get up at this point, have breakfast at this time, I go out at this time, I do my books at this time, I do work at this time, and then I go to bed at this time. All of those things that you do daily, yes, it takes a little bit of time to get into the swing of things, but what it'll do is it'll get your body into a routine of repetitive behavior, which is comfortable for people on the spectrum, but also allows you to focus on the things at hand when you're doing them because you are comfortable in the fact that you know what's coming up. There's no ambiguity and there's no kind of surprises that are going to come out of the woodwork because you know what's going to happen. You've planned this out. That's what you do every day. Guys, I just want to say a big shout out to Supplement Super Focus, which is a supplement that actually helps you focus. Now this thing is pretty amazing. It's actually for attention span and focus increasing, mental clarity and sharp memory increase. This is really, really cool. It's just a supplement, but obviously if you're going to take any kind of supplement, I'd highly recommend speaking to your doctor first. These are to help with mental clarity and focus to help you in your life. Now I think this is a fantastic product for people who have ADHD and autism focus issues because I myself have issues in those areas. So if you'd like to check out Superman, there's a link down below where you can actually get your hands on some of these. So definitely check them out right now. Okay, so number 3 is really interesting. When you're sitting down to focus on something, right? If I'm sitting down to write my book or I'm sitting down to write emails and stuff like that, one of the things I tend to do is I tend to check my phone and look on social media, and then I'm scrolling through Facebook or Instagram and I'm like, what am I actually doing here? Because of those things are distractions, what I try to do is I make my desk as distraction free as possible. I clear the desk of any kind of toys or anything like that that may kind of just pop up, and I'm like, I'm gonna goof about with this aircon system for my neck or whatever. And because of that, I always get distracted. So I clear my desk, make sure it's completely natural, focusable, and just clear, because a clear desk gives you a clear mind, which will help you focus. And it is so important to get rid of all distractions if you're going to focus. The tip here is to put your phone on airplane mode or do not disturb mode and put in noise cancelling headphones and just sit there and have those on. Kind of like going to the cinema. When you go to the cinema, you have to turn your phone off and just focus on the movie that you want to watch because you can't talk to anybody, you can't do anything else other than watch the movie. So put yourself in cinema mode. This is super awesome and it works a whole bunch, believe me. Okay, so number 4 is visual aids. Now visual aids are kind of like prompt sticky notes and little things that you can put around your desk or in your life to help you remember and stay on track. Like egg timers, one cool thing to do. So you say, I'm going to spend the next 20 minutes doing emails. Set an egg timer for 20 minutes and just wait to hear that buzzer before you can move. So you sit down, you do your emails, and when the buzzer goes, okay, now you can have a break and do something else. Having visual stimulation for things like post-it notes and egg timers and things like that and countdown clocks really helps you realize that the ability to kind of procrastinate and kind of fidget and wander off can be done at a time once the alarm has gone. You need to discipline yourself into doing that. Having visual aids definitely helps. Okay, so number 5 is a no-brainer, but it's something we don't always think about. And this is practicing mindfulness. Now, mindfulness comes in many forms, and there's all kinds of therapy groups and all this stuff, and it seems like a lot of work to really be mindful, but there's a better way to do it, and I'm going to hack it with you right now. Mindfulness just means taking the time to appreciate the more detailed in things. Like, I sit back and I say, wow, this chair's comfy. This chair's so comfy, in fact. It's really nice on my back, and I love how it feels on my back. I love how the material feels. What kind of material is this? When you analyze something, when you confront to see and just analyze, you begin to expand your mind, and this relaxes your mind, which is exactly what mindfulness is all about. And when you actually do that, you achieve a greater attention to focus because your mind is calmed. One of the biggest issues you have with ADHD and autism and focus issues is that your mind is racing 1,000 miles an hour in every direction, and it's hard to sit down and do that one thing. If you try and calm your mind by doing mindfulness, like picking up your drink and realizing that the bottle is a really interesting kind of matte texture and that it's cold to touch and it has an embossed logo on it, this will help your mind expand and be more focused. This is super cool. Guys, I have a free Autism Life Hacks PDF book, by the way, you can download for free at autismhacks.net right now. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.